welcome to day 6 of the 5-star Grand Prix 2024 review. I am your host, as always, Scott Edwards, and today we are talking, like I said, about day 6 of the tournament, which was all Red Stars action. And I'm just going to start it off right here. I think it was one of the best shows of the tournament. Lots of good wrestling, including a stellar main event featuring Mayu Iwatani and AZM, which we will get to. But boy, oh boy, am I enjoying this tournament. We've hit the middle ground where either it's kind of make or break for a tournament. I think it's when, do you lose me? Do you win me over? And based off the past two shows, right? Blue Stars on Saturday, now here Red Stars on Sunday. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited. We have four more block play shows left before we get to the quarterfinals, and then of course the final in 2 weeks from Saturday. So lots to talk about, lots to enjoy. If you're listening, as always, I ask you, please press that subscribe button. We have grown a lot since starting this series. This is a small channel, it's just me. It's for fun, ultimately. Like, I have fun doing these videos, and I appreciate all the love and thoughts and comments that I've been getting along the way. So make sure you press that like button. That does a lot of good for the podcast. Well, not podcast, but the overall channel. These have been a little podcast series, but it does a lot well for the algorithm and things like that. And then please leave your comments. Let me know how you're enjoying the tournament so far. Who's your standouts? How you enjoyed this show specifically? And yeah, just I love to hear your thoughts. I love to read your thoughts. I read every comment, so I appreciate it. And let's get to it, shall we? So, of course, this was day 6 of the 5-star Grand Prix. We had a lot to talk about, just Red Stars action, and I don't know if it was the best day of Red Stars action, but I think for me, it was just a standout performance after standout performance. I don't think there was a lot of weak wrestling on this show. So let's get right to it, shall we? The first match of the evening was Micah going one-on-one with Ruaka. Kind of exactly what you'd expect from these two, right? This tournament has been a lot of Micah figuring out her new identity, and I don't it's tough for me because I think Micah really won me over her last couple defenses, the Xeno one, the Tomoka one. Those really won me over, and I was so set on what Micah had become as a World of Stardom champion, and it feels like she completely reverted back to something different. Like, obviously the same basics are still there. She's still a great wrestler, but it just feels like she's working through her new persona while also working through the in-ring aspect and what she's going for. And Ruaka is Ruaka, right? She's not going out there and putting on these great shows, but this match had the little powerhouse elements that I enjoy. This just felt like the step down from the Maika Yuna Mizumori match, which I really enjoyed. Just a step down from that, but it was fine. Like, that's kind of my takeaway with most Ruaka matches in this tournament. It's fine. Like, nothing is bad about it. And that's really what I felt like. This was probably the weakest match on the card for me, but it did its job. And weakest part, I say, it's still not bad. It's exactly what it was supposed to be as the opener of the show, as someone who is going to contend in the tournament against someone who isn't. The one takeaway from this is the first time we saw Mike and Sayo have an exchange, really, since they've both kind of dramatically changed their characters, and it kind of feels like that could be the GP final. Obviously, we're still trying to figure out what the GP final is going to be, but it would not be surprising if the goal is Micah versus Sayo in the end. Next up, we really had a great match here. Hazuki versus Yuna Mizumori is my favorite match of Red Stars A. I know. Natsupoi and Micah has happened. Hazuki and Konami has happened. Matches amongst the biggest stars, but this takes the cake. This takes the cake for me. This was great. This is exactly what you want from tournament play. Hazuki was absolutely at the top of her game, and now she's now in the part of the tournament where her next two matches, her final two matches, are with Maika and Natsupoi. This is the version of Hazuki you want to see right now. And Yuna Mizumori, man, she is so good. She's just so good. Like, she knows how to wrestle her best possible match. Like, nothing she does is overcomplicated, right? And I think that is kind of the beauty of her match style. We are not overcomplicating things, and most of the time she is going out there, hitting a couple lariats, getting some good near falls, and that's what this match was all about. Meanwhile, Hazuki absolutely switches it on, right? She has the switch that few have, that this match went from feeling like, okay, it's a undercarder versus, someone that could get out of this block, to, oh, this is a competitive matchup, right? Yuna is making Hazuki earn this. There was a point where Unimon was on top and Hazuki hit one of her code breakers out of nowhere, essentially. That was great. She also hit the diving senton, but Yuna Mizumori kicked out. That's kind of been her main finish in this tournament, so that was a good shock, and it forced Suzuki to hit the brain buster to get the win. Not even kidding. Highest rated match in Red Stars A. I thought this was great. Like, really, really, like, just borderline, like, top tier. Maybe because it's part surprise how good it was. Not that I think Yuna is bad. I've given Yuna credit this whole tournament. I think if I look, yeah, she is the highest rated wrestler on average for me so far in the GP. So, or not in the GP, but in Red Stars A for the GP so far. She's just been solid. Every single match, she's been solid. We'll look at the averages later, but I think Hazuki's going to take it by the end because she has such strong matchups from here on out. But this was really, really good. Well worth your time. Then we had Seira and Saida. Obviously, one I'm very much looking forward to. Saida has been killing it. Seira has been killing it. They had some high speed moments in this match. I got to the point where I was like, oh, it would be great if like Saida won, because if Saida wins, then we get a high speed title match. I was like, I need more of this, because they were going. The speed was incredible. The chops that Iida was hitting was incredible. She got to the point where she was just like specifically attacking the poor chest of Seira. And Sarah's speed and her agility and her movement is so fluid that you you would think a wrestler would get kind of caught up in it, but not Iida. Iida is so locked in and so good at competing with someone like a Seira, which is incredible, right? Because she's a powerhouse wrestler, but she's got that speed element that I don't think many powerhouses can match. She's just a very unique wrestler, and it's really come out in this tournament how universally talented she is in all assets of her game. This match was won by Seira when she got the her roll up, um, keeping Iida's shoulders down to the mat long enough. I think that this match can even be better somewhere down the line. I actually expect it to be better somewhere down the line. I don't know when that will be, because of course Sarah won, so there's no reason to run the rematch right now. But overall, very good match. Red Stars B kicking off hot, as you'd expect. And then we had Natsupoi and Konami. Natsupoi versus Konami, for me, is kind of the essence of this tournament so far. And the maybe the lackluster matches of Red Stars A for the most part. I don't think Natsupoi's having a great tournament, which is a shame, because past couple of years she's been in the MVP discussion comfortably, and this year it's just not clicking. And I had high hopes for this match with Konami, because Konami's someone who I could have saw won and get a Wonder of Stardom title match, but that wasn't the case here. Natsupoi did get the win, and Konami ended up attacking after the match, and like, it was a real shock. She wasn't able to get the spray paint like she wanted, which is ultimately like her calling card of I'm gonna win or not. Do I get the spray paint on who I'm facing? And the answer here was no. I just think like if we take away and something I'm feeling now with these hate matches is like for Momo Watanabe, it's part of her story, right? She has kind of gotten to this desperate level where she just needs to do anything to win because she had been 0-4 heading into this show. While Konami, who's very much in the conversation, uses the same exact form of cheating, which is, oh, I need you to distract so I can use the paint. And it's like, it's fine, but I want to me, I think Natsupoi just is she's so talented, and it's kind of like a Wonder of Stardom champion thing where it's like they don't always hit like you want them to, which is a real shame because my expectations for her are so high and I don't think she's met them. But Natsupoi's got Manami next and then Hizuki on the final day of block play. If there's matches that are going to hit for her, I think it's going to be those two. And another thing that's held her back is like the focusing on the arm with the arm bar. We had Konami also, that's Konami's thing. Like she works the arms and does it better because again, she's been doing it for years. And I think that hurt this match, like the multiple opportunity, chances for submission holds and the trading back and forth. Like it didn't flow well. Like this match didn't flow, was kind of slow. And I don't want to ever say a Natsupoi match is slow. Like Natsupoi matches, and when they're at their best, are spirited, fast, high pace. I wouldn't say high speed, but a higher pace where the action's nonstop and everything kind of means something. This just didn't have that, and in the end, she gets the win, which is good. Um, but it just didn't work for me, and I want Natsupoi matches to work for me. Like this, like I'm a big fan of hers, and it's just not clicking so far. Um, it's maybe the Wonder Stardom Champion curse that kind of happens in these tournaments sometimes. I don't know, but I have hopes for her next two. But this did officially eliminate Konami from contention, which is a bit of a shocker. I thought she had a chance to at least advance out of the block, representing hate, but it looks like we'll only have one hate wrestler getting into quarterfinals, which hallelujah, I'll take it. But yeah, this was okay. Better than the Ruaka Micah match, but other than that, I thought it was the lowest on the show. Then we had Tam Nakano versus Momo Watanabe, the match of the losers. Tam entering at 0-3, Momo entering at 0-4. Obviously, a gigantic story here, right? Tam has the World of Stardom title match coming up at the final day of the 5-star Grand Prix against Natsuko Tora. So Momo's got two missions. One, she can't be winless. And two, she needs to take down and attack and break down Tam, right? That's the whole mission of hate, is to break down Tam in every way, shape, or form. And that story was perfectly told. Perfectly told in this tournament. I loved the way they did this match. I thought this was one of the best story matches in the entire tournament. You look for matches that have just great action and great. This was the story match, though. I am so on the Tam road these days. It's insane. Like I don't know if I've ever been on the Tam road before. I am on the Tam road right now. I'm so invested in what she's doing. She's putting into some of the best work of her career right now, truthfully. Like everything's clicking. She is selling great. And the way she sold her knee in this match was incredible. Momo was destroying this thing. Every time Tam would start to come back, she'd kick it as hard as possible, right? It was like cutting out the legs from under her, literally. It was incredible. It really was. It was such a well told story within the match itself. Do I like the story of she's just getting a world title match despite going 0-4 so far in the tournament? No. No, I like the story of hate trying to break her down, but it's the part of the okay, you're getting a tournament match on the final day of the 5-star without winning any matches that really hurts it. Like, had this happen and we were doing it some other time, I think I could live with it easier, but you're taking away from the 5-star final as is with the title match. But I digress. I'm going with the story that they're telling. This is the story that they're telling, so I'm living with it. And the story that they're telling within the match itself, they told it great. And I was waiting this whole match, right? Momo introduces the bat. Hate is trying to do everything in their power to one help Momo because Momo is trying to get off the schneid, but we want to keep making Tam lose. They're trying to break the spirit of Tam Nakano. And can they succeed? They're getting closer and closer, and this felt like the match they were going to. When Tam would finally look to make the comeback, and by the way, this match opened up hot. She hit a violet shooting right to start, and that's when I was locked in. I was so locked in from the get-go. I've been wanting Tam to do that kind of start for like years. I want her to do that in one of her Julia matches so many times, and she just never did. But she did it here because, right, she's fighting Hate, she's fighting Momo, trying to just get on the winning side because the rest of this tournament's about surviving for her. And she barely made it out of this match. Like I said, I was waiting for them to build to when Momo would use the bat on the knee, and that was the backbreaker before Momo would lock in the submission and eventually make Tam tap out. Another tap out for Tam. Obviously, Natsuko Tora did it earlier in this tournament. We are well on our way to that title match where Tam's knee just may not have anything left. And I think that's going to make for an interesting and exciting title match, all things considered. I think Tam really is having one of the best tournaments so far, despite being 0-4. And Momo's been awesome as well. I think Momo has easily been the best wrestler from Hate in the tournament. I kind of want her to go over because I want her to get kicked out of the group. Still possible. She goes like 1-5, but Momo rocks. Tam rocked. She taps out. You know, what does Tam have left? What will Tam have left when we get to the finals? That's going to be the question. And it's going to be an exciting way to find out. Does Tam just win the title still, despite the knee stuff? I think it's possible. But until then, I will appreciate this match all the way home. This was great. Well worth going out of your way to see. And then we had the main event. Oh, well, this was the pose after where Tam was just defeated. Natsuko, proud of the work of her Hate group and what Momo accomplished here. It was so simply told, but it was perfectly told, I think, as well. And then, of course, we had the main event. Mayu Iwatani once again in the main event, her fourth main event of the tournament, and this time going against Azumi. The story from Mayu Iwatani is simple. She has not lost in singles action this year. She has won all her IWGP title defenses. She was undefeated in the tournament, going 3-0 to start. Who is going to beat her? I didn't know it was going to be Azumi, but damn, do I love that it happened. This match was fantastic. Top 3 in the tournament for me. Azumi has flipped the next switch, or she has grown even more this year, right? She is one of the most naturally talented wrestlers Stardom has produced. Okay, like when it comes to natural talent, she's great. But it was all about structure and putting matches together. And this was one of her best put together matches. Obviously, she's facing Mayu, who I'm sure put together the match, but this was awesome. Like nonstop, high speed plus Mayu style equals a great time. Every time that Mayu looked to be closing in, Azumi would have an answer. Every time that Azumi looked to be closing in on the win, though, Mayu would have the answer. There were hard strikes in this match. There was the beauty of just what Mayu does, hitting a nasty dragon suplex at one point in this match. You even had a superplex at one point. You had Azumi just keep fighting. She just on this night, and Azumi does this once a year, right? She just has the number of a main event top star. Last year it was Utami. This year it was Mayu Iwatani. She wrestled her best match. This was Azumi's best match. And Mayu just didn't have answers. Every time Mayu looked to get right, Mayu goes for the tombstone. Azumi's able to avoid that. The tombstone has been crucial in this tournament so far. Azumi just did not give up, though. The near fall of the match coming when Mayu got turned inside out on a destroyer. Azumi hit the destroyer, but Mayu kicked out, and I was like, oh, here we go. And as the match came to a close, Azumi debuted her new finish, which is a double underhook destroyer. I'm just gonna call it the Azumi Destroyer from now on. So she gets in the double hook, underhook, the Tiger Driver type, and then does the full flip, planting Mayu and getting the Azumi Sushi. This match, like I said, was tremendous. Top 3 match in the tournament for me. It's exactly what you want from Azumi. Azumi, when she wrestles this kind of match, it's great. And this is Mayu being the greatest of all time. Like I don't know how many times I gotta say it. I don't like Mayu's the greatest. She really is. She's the greatest of all time. Um, just having an unbelievable, ungodly tournament. Like she is on such a higher level than everyone else for me. But Azumi's been great, and now Azumi has a legitimate shot to challenge for the IWGP Women's Title, and she has a legitimate shot to win this damn thing. She is now leading the Red Stars block with 8 points. She only has, I believe she has one match left. Yes, she has one match left on the final day of the tournament, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see who does that and who wins there. Konami's out. She only has one match left as well. So um, just talking about overall the blocks. Momo also has one match left. Momo we know is out. She's through 5 matches. So the final day, Konami and Momo do not wrestle for the Red Stars block for those interested. But go watch this match. Absolutely stellar performance from both of them. Mayu Iwatani, just the greatest of all time. I say it all the time because I mean it. Just fantastic. But let's take a look at those averages now. We are updated here. So as you can see, high praise from me for Azumi and Mayu Iwatani. High praise from Momo versus Tam. High praise, I think deservedly so, for Iida and Seira. And then big time rating for Hazuki and Yuna Mizumori, which is now my highest rated match. And like I said, I've updated some things. I updated Mei Seira versus Tomoka Inaba from the first night of the tournament. I think that match is just absolutely great. Rewatched it. I've already rewatched Azumi versus Mayu. So good. So we're having a great time here. As we look at the averages, the leader in the Red Stars A block for average right now is Yuna Mizumori at 3.19, with Hazuki right behind her at 3.13. In the Red Stars B match, it is Mayu leading the entire field with a 4.19. Tam's right behind her with a 3.88. I think Tam's just been fantastic. And we have Saida at a 3.81. It's been an incredible run. We'll be back with Blue Stars action on Tuesday. As they head to Osaka. That should be a fun show. We'll have Xena versus Seriano, Shuri versus Koguma, Anna Jay versus Miyu Amasaki. And then Suzuki versus Tekla, Sai Kamatani versus Saki Kashima, and Rana Yagami versus Risa Serra. So looking forward to that day, especially after the effort that the Blue Stars put together this past week. I'm really looking forward to that. But before we go, I will just show us the updates here on the stats that, of course, Peps has been putting together, and we greatly appreciate it. Let's just zoom in a little bit more here. So as you can see, the Red Stars A block is down to 4. Maika, Hazuki, Natsupoi, and Minami fighting for those spots. Maika obviously undefeated at 4-0. She is all but signed up. One more win and she's in. She's obviously facing Hazuki. Hazuki's facing Natsupoi and Maika. A win over Natsupoi will get her in. A win over Micah and a loss to Natsupoi does not. So we'll see how that plays out. If I had to give my picks right now, I do think it will be Micah and Hazuki. I think Micah probably beats Hazuki the next night, and then Natsupoi falls to Hazuki on the final night. I don't think Minami's getting in, but shouts out to her. Then we have the Red Stars B, which is down to Azumi, Mayu Iwatani, Mei Seira, and Tomoka Inaba. Obviously, not what I expected, but boy, am I excited. Azumi has one match left with Iida, while Mayu Iwatani got 2 with Tomoka Inaba and Mei Seira. And then Tomoka has, I believe, Tam and Mayu. So I think Tomoka could be at 8. If Tam's going over, I think that's definitely possible. It's funny, Mayu, out of those four that are left, Mayu's the only one with a loss. AZM, Seira, and Tomoka are all undefeated still. They have draws and whatnot, but they're still all undefeated. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm thinking Mayu's a lock, and it's a fight between those other three. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. AZM having Iida, I think she is the favorite to get in, especially after pinning Mayu, but we'll wait and see. Then, like I said, Blue Stars A remains the same, still wide open. We'll have some eliminations next time around, but I'm looking forward to it. So, thank you everyone for listening to the latest review. This was day 6 of the 5-star Grand Prix. Like I said, please leave a comment, like, make sure you subscribe so you never miss another one. We'll be back on Tuesday with day 7, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are 3 straight days of tournament action, which we will have covered right here on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back, like I said, on Tuesday for more Blue Stars action with day 7. Until then, I wish you the best. Hope you have a good week, and see ya.